Good evening, everyone. My name is Rochelle Reed. My topic of choice was ADHD in the eyes of an adolescent. I found a quote that stuck out to me, and which was, "When people don't fit in." ADHD is an attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in which it's difficult to understand or learn from others. Some of the groups of foods that adolescents should stay away from that might trigger behavior um, would be sugar, coffee, caffeine, soda, candy. Those food items are bad triggers to bad behavior, and you're just setting your child up for destruction, as I did. My son was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age. Um, he was prescribed medication, which he did take for about 6-7 months. But after that, we stopped taking him to see the doctor. I just think that the prescription drugs just made my son feel like he was zoned out into the sky. He was calm, yes. He was quiet, yes. He wasn't acting up in school, yes. But to see him go through the kid who jumped up and down to the kid that just wants to stay on the couch for hours at a time, yeah, I had to stop taking him to see that doctor, and even take him off the medication altogether. Here he is now at the age of 8. But what the doctor did prescribe was a chart, which I still have, that he used for preschool. And this just broke down his data and his behavior for school. And they would just write in something like, the first one would say, "I played quietly or listened to a story." And they would write down whether he did or not, and his behavior problems, and if he did act up, things like that, just to keep me informed, which was good, and I did keep that. But by the end of ADHD research, I just hope to keep you guys informed and the history of it as well. Again, I mean, my personal problems were acting up in school. He got kicked out of 4 different daycares. We would be driving, and if the song wasn't loud enough or he didn't want that song played and I didn't turn it off quick enough, he would act out very, very badly. So I just thought medicine would cure it all, but it just made matters worse, I think. He hasn't had medication in the last 3 or 4 years now, and he doesn't need it. I think it's just more parental guidance, more of teaching him how to stay calm and be patient, and to be kind to others, and to just want to learn. Make it fun for him. He's been doing great in school. ADHD, I did my research on it, and I think before he was on prescription drugs, his behavior did expand, I think, just because of the things that he would eat and the company that he kept and the things that he watched on TV. Now here's a chart that I found, which was real interesting, is percent pediatric patients seen for a follow-up visit after your initial prescription drug. I mean, it went from 0 to 5, 6 to 12 years of age, and you see the percentage, how it grew after the prescription was given, and how much follow-up expanded ever since the beginning of treatment and the prescription that was prescribed. Now the doctor, he does still see, but even him, he said maybe it wasn't the drug. Maybe he just needed some time away, a different school, a different scene, a different environment. ADHD it's commonly misdiagnosed in my experience. I thought it would be, and I honestly think it's true. He's been doing great since then. Having the medicine could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I mean, we slowly took him off. We didn't take him off completely, but eventually he just doesn't need it anymore, and he's been doing great since. A couple of references that I did look up. The website, I think it was called activebeat.com. Great resource. It shows you graphs on how you can document the behavior for a child, even if not in school, at home, activities, things that you should stay away from that might trigger the behavior. Like again, sugar is definitely not a good thing to give kids, especially those acting out in school and just need. I mean, eating healthy would be best way to go, as at a young age, so that they can continue on when they get older. But again, I think ADHD could be misdiagnosed. Just more parental guidance, more being patient, taking his time. You know, I definitely worked out in his favor. I'm happy to say he's not on the prescription drug anymore. But to see your child look up in the air at certain points for a long period of time. I mean, when I tell you he was still on that couch for hours, he was still on the couch for hours, not playing video games, just looking up in the sky for hours. It's a very emotional experience being a mom. But overall, I think ADHD and the knowledge and the history of it definitely opened up my eyes on why prescription shouldn't always be the resort. I mean, that should be the last resort, if anything. Um, but I thank you all for listening to my speech, and have a good night.